let's do a bit of analysis on BTN 221, variety of plants. You know, if you can actually come back to the beginning of BTN, your BTN, that's botany. You are going to agree with me that botany, according to the first definition, informs us that botany is the study of plants, right? And what plant products, the study of plants and plant products. So there are two things we are looking at. Number one, we are looking at plants. We are studying plants. Number two, we are also looking at plant products. Now, you cannot study a thing without having factors for studying that thing. For instance, if you want to study man, if you want to study man, if I want to study man now, let me say a particular male. Let me say I want to study Frank. I want to study Frank, a person whose name is Frank. Now, the way to study Frank, there are factors to study Frank. I can study Frank behaviorally, so I can use behavior as a factor to study Frank. I can use the factor of his state of origin. I can say people that come from a particular state behave in social way. I can use where he lives. I can use location. People that grew up in a particular location tend to behave like this. I can use school. People that attend school. So I can. There are several factors. I can even use complexion. Some people believe that once you are fair, you have appetite to marry more, to date more women. So some people believe that when you don't, so dark guys don't have promiscuous behavior. It is the fair guys that have. So behavioral factor, complex and complexion can. So these are different factors I can look into. The same thing that concerns plants. If I want to study plants, the question is, what are the major factors for looking at? I can start by looking at what we call characteristics. Characteristics can be a factor for studying plants. Number two, I can use classification. Classification can be a factor for studying plants. Where plant, even I can use ecological niche. Can use ecological niche to study plants. I can even use hormones as factor to study plants. There are different factors you can use to study plants here. Now, the factor that concerns classification of plants, which is among the essence of what we are looking at in this course. Classification of plants here, majorly we begin from the schizophyta, we move to the talophyta, then we move to the bryophyta. From bryophyta, we move to the pteridophyta. Then we move to spermatophyta. How they now? And then from spermatophyta, we know that spermatophytas are divided into two. We have what we call the gymnosperm. We also have those called the angiosperm. The gymnosperms and the angiosperms. But in terms of the classes, you can regard them as gymnospermopsida, and this is regarded to as angio, then spermopsida. This is just because of this, you can just write in full. Right, so these are the major groups of the what now classification of plants. So you study plants as schizophyta, talophyta, the bryophyta, the pteridophyta, and what now the seed plant. And we know that the seed plant are the most advanced, right? Which are divided into gymnosperm and angiosperm. Then angiosperms they are the most advanced of all in the classifications. Although this divided into this and this, but then the angiosperm are the most advanced of all. And due to majorly three major things must have due to the presence of flowers. Presence of flowers. How would they now? So now, that is that for the classification, and then ecological niche. You have hormones like that, but based on the essence of this video, which is majorly to introduce you to discourse, so I'm going to be going back to the effect, to the essence of discourse, teaching you this in respect to discourse. Now, that is the factor, at least primary factors you can use among several to study plant. Then plant products. Plants, yeah. One of the major things you need to realize is that plants, we can call plants the host of earth. The host of earth. Meaning that plants was actually created, or plants was actually formed, sun, plants, then we have animals, then we have animals, then we have man, at least. So some factors of evolution. Man happens to be the last born of creation. Now we have plants. Plants in terms of abundance. Plants in terms of abundance are more than animals. But in terms of species, animals are more than plants. You have different species of plants than you have different species of plants. We have different species of animals than you have different species of plants, right? But in terms of abundance, you have more plants than you have animals. I wouldn't know. So, and based on that, based on longevity, we can say plants here are the host of earth, while every other species can be called guest, which includes man. So every other species can be called guests, but plants can be called hosts. They were literally the first species that came into existence and in abundance, right? So now, and you can notice that plants here have the needs of animals and plants were primarily solved. Needs of animals and man was primarily solved by plants. What are these basic needs? These are majorly what these plant products are. The product of plants are majorly to answer to the needs of animals and man. Among these several needs, we have food. Then we have in terms of shelter. In terms of shelter, what else do I have? In terms of food, in terms of shelter, in terms of health. They are product of plant that serves as source for health, and then ornamental uses also. Ornamental, that's for beautification. Ornamental uses of plants also. Ornamental uses of plants. So that way can we also use plants? You use plants in terms of this, even in terms of cloth or clothings. You have plants here. So primarily plants, the host of earth, have products that answers to the needs, primary needs of man, which are these. And even in terms of oxygen, because I believe that plants introduce oxygen to the atmosphere. So they are kind answer to this, right? So when we say botany is the study of plants, so you know what you are studying, and then plant product. So this happens to be the first thing. So if you look at your BTN 221, the first topic we are looking at is what we call the general uses of plants. And then these general uses of plants here, let us travel through this material and let's see a bit. You notice that the general uses of plants here, for those of you that are making use of this content, that means this manual from school now, the uses of plants here that we have in this topic, these uses are majorly factored to these primary uses of plants in terms of food, in terms of shelter. So there are plant products that serve as source of food. There are plant products that serve as source of making shelter, source of health. So health here can also be drug. There are plant products that can literally be used for drug, or let me even say medicine. And then ornamental uses for beautification, and then clothing. Then we are not necessarily looking at oxygen here. So now you are learning all these things, and then you are learning what we call their botanical names. Their what? Their botanical names. I'm going to make this in our next video. But realize that the uses of plants we are learning are in respect to food, shelter, health, or drug, or for medicine, and then ornamental uses, then clothing. So if you are learning your botanical names, you are learning botanical name in respect to this factor. So you are not just learning about botanical names of food. You are also learning the one for shelter. You are learning the one for health, the one that's drug medicine. You are also learning the one for ornamental uses. You are also learning the one for clothing. See you in the next video.